Hey everybody, today is going to be part 2 of the Reading Crazy Black Friday horror stories. I'm pretty sure all of these stories came from retail employees, so I don't think there's any customer stories. But yeah, other than that, let's just get right onto the video. I worked for 6 years at a Johnny Rockets as a server and manager. Although we were inside a mall, we didn't open early on Black Friday like the rest of the stores because we are a separate restaurant. Also, we don't serve breakfast, so it made no sense to open at 6 a.m. When I got there to open, we had people shaking our gates, screaming that they wanted food. I pointed them toward the food court and told them we don't serve breakfast. A lady spat at me and yelled, "I know you have bacon." We do, in a fridge waiting to be put on a burger. Here is the next story. A woman comes into the store with her 2 children, probably aged 5 and 7, no older than that. I overheard her say, "I'll be back, stay here," and just leaves them. Not a word to us, she just vanishes. Within minutes, it got busy, as in 50 customers plus kids. There are only 3 employees in the store, 2 on the register, and there's me, the shift manager, supposed to be helping people shop. Mall security called the cops. The officers show up about 25 minutes after the lady left her kids. The lady gets down and makes small talk with the boys while the man waits outside. Things slow to a crawl in the store, so my fellow employees entertain the kids while I speak with the officers. Apparently their mother had gone to the other mall across the 4-lane street at 7:30 p.m. during crazy busy shopping time. Life hack: if you don't have a babysitter, just leave your kid at a different store and then leave the store because that's safe. PSA, don't leave your kids in stores, or you probably shouldn't even take them Black Friday shopping with you to begin with. When I was in college, I worked at a toy store and it was the year of the Furbies. They were really hard to get and our location only got 10 of them. We were instructed to pass out numbers rather than the actual toys to the first people in line. I was the lucky one to pass out numbers. I gave the first person their number when all of a sudden I'm on the floor. I've been tackled from behind. This woman had slammed into me, knocked me to the floor, and ripped the tickets out of my hand, breaking 2 fingers. The store refused to give her a Furby and we detained her until the cops showed up. I worked as a greeter at American Eagle. My job was to stand at the front of the store and tell you about our Black Friday deals. Pretty mind-numbing work, but I made the most of it. Anyway, at some point during the day, a lady walked in with 8 bags. The alarm went off. So I smiled and said that it went off most likely because there's possibly still a tag on one of her items. This was her response: "I just walked in and you're already accusing me of stealing," and then she stormed off. Nothing special, honestly, just another day of retail. A man showed up the Tuesday before Black Friday with a tent, ice coolers, generator, TV, and everything he needed to brave the 3 nights he would be staying over. He kept bragging about being first in line. He said he was going to get a plasma TV and how he was going to be hosting the next Super Bowl party, so this was just going to be the best thing ever. At 5 a.m., the doors open and the man goes straight to the plasma TVs. They were all gone, completely sold out. What happened? Turns out the garden center at the Walmart opened up about 10 seconds before the front doors. Those that came the night before scooped up all 15 plasma TVs. This guy who had been there since Tuesday afternoon was dumbfounded and argued with management, but was told there was nothing that could be done. The guy's Thanksgiving was a bust for sure. That's just crazy. What's the point of waiting 3 days? If you want to camp out the night before, then sure, go ahead. But 3 days is just insane. That's way too crazy. There's no reason. Worked at Walmart on Black Friday last year. The first couple in line had been there for about 13 or 14 hours. They had actually camped out overnight. We opened the store expecting they'll make a beeline for the electronics or toys, the expensive stuff. Nope, they entered the store and filled a shopping cart full of towels that we had on sale for $2. That's it, just towels. They were first in line outside and waited over half a day for $2 towels. When I left after my 12-hour shift, we still had shelves full of these towels along with tons in the stock room. I had a lady saying she was going to faint. She kept saying, "Please just let me pay so I can get to a doctor." I knew she was lying and called my manager over so he could talk to her. He said, "Ma'am, they told me you were in need of medical assistance. I've got an ambulance on the way." She freaked out, yelling at my manager about how the line was too long and how it was his fault she was feeling sick. She then yelled at me saying, "This is all your fault. If you would have just let me cut in line, we would be out of this mess." My manager told her to leave, and if she didn't, he would call the cops. She tried to stay until a random cop came in to check out the crowd. She left so quick. By the way, my manager never even called an ambulance in the first place. I just don't get how people can seriously lie like that. She was obviously fine and just wanted to cut and be mean about it. I don't know. I don't get how people are just so terrible. One evening during the Black Friday rush at the big box retail store I worked at, one of the cashiers called me over. This lady had her dad's credit card and about $1,000 worth of merchandise. The cashier refused to sell it due to her using someone else's credit card. It's just protocol. The woman got defiant and the crux of her argument was that she had power of attorney over her father. He was quite ill, so she had the right to use his credit card to buy Christmas presents. I didn't buy her story and I refused the sale. I was going through the same thing with my grandfather, so I knew all about POA. Our attorney had empathetically told us that we couldn't go shopping for personal uses with the POA, so I knew this woman was lying. Anyway, she would not back down. Busy Friday night lines got longer and longer. She thought she could yell me down, weight me down. I would not budge. She stormed off, but an hour later came back with her very ill-looking father. I felt bad for the guy and apologized to him, but explained the situation and he was cool with it. I felt bad for the cashier too, as she felt bad for causing all the trouble. I was scheduled to work a 12-hour shift starting at 5 a.m. Not much of a breakfast person, I chose to only consume a granola bar before going to work. As the hours go by, I found that the demanding circumstances, I was behind the register, coupled with hunger, makes me feel a tad lightheaded. At 2 p.m., I was denied a 15-minute break to eat something a bit more substantial. At 3 p.m., an ambulance arrives due to the fact that a young female sales associate had collapsed from exhaustion and hit the tile and is probably suffering from a concussion. That sales associate was me. I recovered just fine, but at 4 p.m., my boss called me from the hospital bed and inquired, "Are you coming back to work?" That is so bad. Like, your employee faints because you wouldn't let them take a quick break to shove some food in their face, and you're just like, hey, I know you could have died, but you need to come back to work. Not so much of a horror story, but something I just couldn't believe. Black Friday at Walmart, there were the microwaves being sold for 70% off, and the store was so busy you couldn't move. There were empty shelves all along the aisle up to the microwaves, so a guy got down on his belly and army crawled along the shelves, grabbed a microwave and army crawled back with it. That honestly isn't the worst idea. It's definitely way more normal and stuff than all the other stories we've been reading. I sold a couch to a guy who drove a Prius with no roof rack. We do not deliver, and he wouldn't leave until we found a way to get this thing secured to his car somehow. Not only had he clearly not planned ahead or thought it through, he was a total jerk about it and insisted on making it our problem. We ended up using half a spool of twine to tie this thing down, and he had to climb in through the window because the twine went through his doors. I really wish I had taken a picture. At one point, he complained to our manager, who had no idea what we were supposed to have done to appease this doofus. Finally, we insisted that he sign a waiver before leaving because we were not about to be held responsible for his own poor planning. Of course, this was also during the busiest part of the day. That is crazy. Could you imagine just seeing a Prius drive down the street with a couch twined to the top of it? Okay, so here's the last story, but the way it's cropped, because I took screenshots of all this, I can't actually read any of it, so I'm just gonna give you guys the gist of it. So this story is from somebody who works at a restaurant, and all of a sudden there were people outside fighting. One of them was pantsless, and essentially what happened was the clothed guy was got the last TV or something from the mall across the street. So then the naked guy decided to fight the guy with clothes. So what he did was he took his pants off and decided to fight him in the parking lot of this restaurant, because that's totally rational and that's definitely gonna help the situation, right? That is it for this video. Tell me in the comments down below any of your crazy Black Friday stories, or if you are going Black Friday shopping this year, and if you are, what are you getting? What are the sales that are going on? Let me know all of that. I always just love hearing stuff about Black Friday. I feel like that's really weird, but I just find it interesting. I'm just curious, you know? But that's it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Everybody, today I'm going to be reading again, Furbies. People go crazy for those things. Just calm down. Just because you're snotty little... I shouldn't say that. I don't even get the point of it. It's I get that it's for Christmas and everything, but if you just wait 3 or 4 months and then get one at full price, of course, I still don't agree with it. That's kind of crazy. Like, lady, they didn't say that you stole from there. Because realistically, maybe she has 8 bags. Like, maybe she has... That's such a crazy way to react because he didn't... Or I'm assuming it's the guy. He didn't... That's a crazy way to react because they didn't even, like, accuse them of stealing. They were just like, hey, maybe one of the tags is still on. Because it's totally normal, like, when you're, you know, a cashier and scanning things, you might forget one of those little, like, plastic tags. I don't know what they're called, but they're the ones that make the, like, they're the ones that make the alarm go off, and sometimes you just miss one. Like, it's... The way she reacted, I feel like she probably was stealing something, because people usually only get defensive like that when they are guilty of whatever they're being accused of. ASMR. That's just insane. Like, how can anybody just do that? Like, force their, like, ill parent to go to the store with them so that they can use their money? Like, I just don't get how people can treat their parents like that. I guess, I don't know, I was raised to, like, have respect for my parents. Shocking. I just find it so crazy. Like, how can somebody take advantage of an ill person like that? Because the thing is unless he's, like, filthy rich, she was probably just taking his money, like, without him really knowing. And even if he did know, maybe he was in a state where he couldn't, like, really be like, yes, it's okay if you spend all of my money, or no, please don't spend my money. You know? You know.